Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I hope you're having a lovely week, guys. I wanted to just talk about today signs that you are obsessed with handbags. I found that sometimes handbags have taken over my life. They've consumed my brain, spent so much money on them. I've put my whole energy into it. I even created a whole YouTube channel about my obsession. If you feel like you're falling down a spiral of complete obsession, these are signs that you might be already obsessed. If you want to stay obsessed, I think that's totally fine. If it's not hurting anyone, it's okay to be obsessed, right? But if it is impacting on you financially and mentally, maybe it's good to just recognize these signs and take a little bit of a step back. Anyways, who am I to say what you should do with your life? So, a sign that you're obsessed with handbags is that you like to buy doubles of the same bag. For example, you might think that something is going to go up in price in the future and you're scared that in 5 years you're not going to be able to afford it because it's going to be double the price. You might buy a double of the same bag, or for collectability purpose, you might buy a double of a bag and then use one bag and keep one as an investment. This is kind of like a collector's mindset, but it's also a little bit obsessive to buy doubles of bags. I know that I've bought doubles of bags, but not necessarily in the exact same color, but I bought, 2 Kelly 28 bags. I've bought multiple Bolide bags, multiple Lindy bags. I just think that is kind of like a little bit too obsessed in a way. Sometimes you can get a bit carried away and just end up buying the same bag over and over again. I think a lot of people on YouTube do that, whether it's classic flaps, Birkins, Speedies. You just end up buying a lot of the same style. And I don't know, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. It can be a good thing if you have a certain style and you know what your style is and you're just buying doubles of everything. I know my boyfriend does that with like jeans and t-shirts. He just buys doubles because he knows what his style is. But it can also kind of backfire if it's designer bags, because there might reach a day where you just don't like the Birkin anymore and you realize you bought like 50, or you don't like the Speedy and you bought so many doubles. So I have been trying to diversify my collection, not buy too many doubles of things, but yeah, it's because I'm basically obsessed. Minimalism is a goal for you, but not really a reality. So I've actually noticed a lot of YouTubers who are minimalists, or their channel is like minimalist style, but they just can't keep buying things anyway. Like, their aesthetic is minimal, but you always find that they're doing ads for like jewelry and I don't know, like furniture and all that. And at the end of the day, they have minimalist aesthetic, but they're actually like, keep shopping. I think when it comes to handbags, if you're into fashion, it's very hard to be minimalist, because with the nature of fashion is that you're always buying things. It's always changing. It's always something new. So if you're into fashion, you might be somebody who is collecting things from different eras or from today, or you might be thinking about what's going to come out in the future. And yeah, I would say if you're into fashion, it's very hard to not shop at all, because you're constantly like wanting to develop your style and change. And people who are minimalist, even on YouTube, they are constantly changing their style and buying new things. So yeah, you might be somebody who is obsessed with bags, and although you might want to have a minimalist aesthetic, you still are always looking at the next bag kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but have you noticed that, guys? Like, it's hard to be into fashion and also completely minimalist. You kind of have to... Minimalism to me is like not fashion. It is just like very... It's actually the complete opposite of fashion. So if you are into following the latest trends and I guess having the perfect neutral wardrobe, I don't think there is any such thing. I think the term classic, like classic bags, is just something that we've convinced ourselves is the case. What is classic? I think classic just comes down to your own style, what you like. Classic doesn't necessarily have to mean something that celebrities wore in the past or something like that. I think that is something that you have to define for yourself, and you can't really follow a minimalist template or a template that some other YouTuber is telling you to do. That might be something that you strive for. At the end of the day, we're all always trying to evolve and find our style if you are into fashion and clothes and handbags. Next sign that you're obsessed with bags is you think about handbags every day. There are some things that I've collected in the past, like Hello Kitty and stationery and all that, and there were phases where I thought about these things every day, but then as time went by, I became less obsessed and I just hardly thought about these things at all. But handbags is something that I've been obsessed with for the last few years, and there has not been a day, I believe, that's gone by where I haven't thought about handbags. I would say I'm obsessed because it is something that plays on my mind. I look at bags, I research bags, I use my bags, I'm always thinking about what's coming out, what's the next bag to buy, and yes. Just think about how many times a day you think about bags. That might give you an indication as to whether you are obsessed or not. You have the tendency of collecting things in the past. So as I said, I used to collect stationery. When I was younger, it was kind of like common to collect marbles, stamps, trading cards, Tarzos, whatever. It's something that I think a lot of kids in the 90s grew up with as well, like it becoming normal to collect things. And as I grew up as an adult, I feel like I still like collecting things. It's something that I've trained my brain to do. See handbags as also a form of something I can collect, and I might not necessarily be buying a handbag because I need it or it fits my lifestyle. I just might be buying it because it's rare and it looks cool and it's hard to get, or it might be something that I think is going to go up in value. So yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed in that sense. You love learning about brand stories. Not everybody is interested in why the classic flap is quilted or why the Hermes Birkin is called the Birkin, but people who are obsessed with handbags want to know all the nitty-gritty and the history of the bags. They love to be romanticized about bags. They love the storytelling. They love the whether they're true or not true stories that these brands tell us. We just love, thinking of the stories about these bags and the significance of these bags in history. And not everybody is like that. Some people buy bags just for fashion, just to look cute. And those people who just buy bags for those reasons might not be actually obsessed. They like bags, but they're not fully committed into it and want to delve into it deeper. They don't want to find out everything about the bag. And if you are somebody who really wants to dive into the history of bags and you love to know everything about them and what came out in the past, what's coming out in the future, you might just be a little bit obsessed. And that brings me to my next point. You love vintage. You love exploring the vintage market. You love knowing the different generations of how a bag might have evolved. Maybe you like how the Chanel Mini Square used to be more square and then it evolved into more of a pudgy shape, and now they're making it in iridescent colors and heart shapes and whatever. Maybe you love learning about the evolution of handbags, and maybe you're somebody who appreciates how things were made in the past as well. Maybe you just love learning about things of the past. So that might be an indication that you're also obsessed, because you're not just about, buying a bag because it's cute or the latest influencer wore it. You just want to know everything about bags. Resale value is a consideration for you, but not essential. So I think anybody who is a collector of things, they like to collect things that are valuable or rare. Like, for example, people who collect Pokemon cards, they like to get the holographic card because it's rare and cool and it can hold value or go up in value. And I think people who are obsessed with bags, they also like to have that little bit of an aspect to their collection where they have bags that are rare or might go up in value in the future. But there are passion purchases that people who are obsessed with bags will buy as well, just because they mean something to them, or they think that it might be a bag that is going to be cool in the future. Or resale value is a consideration, but because you love bags, you know that there are some bags you might buy and may never sell as well, and you might just love them and appreciate them for what they are. But not everybody. Some people buy bags just purely based on resale value. They might just buy it because it's the hottest bag to get. They might strive to get a Birkin 25 purely because of the hype around it and the desirability of it or the status behind it. And that is a different kind of mindset as to somebody who is obsessed with bags, that appreciates the design and the history of a brand, or maybe other things from the brand because they're obsessed. So there's a kind of different stereotype of person who will go for bags as opposed to somebody who is a little bit more nerdy and wants to just explore the whole history of the brand and whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense, guys, but I think there are people who buy bags because they're influenced, and then there are people who buy bags because they really want to learn about bags and they appreciate bags for what they are, which I'm not saying there's a good or bad way to go, because people who really want to delve into bags and collect bags, that can also be a bad thing, because it can mean that it can kind of take over and it can consume your mind, and you can waste a lot of time doing that for no reason, as opposed to somebody who just buys bags for purpose or to look cool or as an investment kind of thing. You don't always buy a bag because it's popular. So you like buying bags that are a little bit different, undiscovered. You like buying bags that haven't been talked about much before. This might be an indication that you're a little bit obsessed because you've really gone down the rabbit hole of handbags and you've done your research and you're really into handbags. So you might just not be influenced by, like, you know, the what everyone else goes for, like the, I don't know, the Speedy or the Gucci Marmont or whatever. You might be somebody who is so obsessed with handbags that you want to discover cool styles that no one else talks about. You don't judge people because you know you took your obsession a little bit too far. So you're not somebody who tells people to stop spending their money on bags. You're not somebody who cares about what other people buy. You are kind of like just focused on yourself. You love being in your own handbag bubble and just doing your own thing. You are kind of someone who is aware that you're a little bit obsessed with bags. You're not going to judge other people for their obsession as well, because you know deep down you really enjoy it. So it's something that maybe you need to find a balance in. Maybe you're a little bit too obsessed, but yeah, you're not judging other people about it either. So anyways, that was a really blabby video. I don't know if that made sense, but hopefully I can edit it and it will make sense. So yeah, anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!